Ooh. Something is definitely a little bit slow.
We'll catch up.
All right, so looks like we're live.
Yes.
Hey guys, Ted, we're here. We did it. We made it finally. Hey guys, it's Ted Bogert with the Home Team Series on the Ted Show, and I'm with the one and the only Sal Criscuolo.
Close enough.
No, it's not. I'm Italian. I should know how to say this.
Closer
Say
than
it right.
anybody ever.
Say it right for us, Chris. I mean, for Sal. Jeez. Late in the day.
Criscuolo.
Criscuolo. Okay.
Yes.
Criscuolo.
Perfect.
It should be easy. Why am I making this difficult? All right, I'm just sharing right now, so don't think I'm ignoring you.
Well, I'm doing the same thing.
Good. We have been trying to pull this together for a while, and oh God, here we go. Thank you. All right, Joe Tags is, of course, behind the scenes working it, as he always is. Thanks for Tags for doing that. I love your background before we even get started. So are you a Bravo?
Yeah.
Rules fan, or what is that? Now I'm not even hearing you.
Honestly,
there you are.
You hear me now?
Yes, you're good.
Verizon commercial. The last panel I was on was using this as the background, so I figured instead of changing it, I kind of liked it, and I figured it would go great on the TED Show with the colors and everything. My scheme. Can you hear me, or is the connection gone?
Might as well. It looks good.
Oh, good.
All right. So for those people a little bit you and your background, introduce yourself.
I'm losing you.
Can you hear me? You good?
Now I can hear you. We're back.
All right. All right, we're back. So introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about you.
Well, my name is Sal Criscuolo. I've been in the mortgage business for about 24 years now, almost a quarter century. Background for me, my background was actually in finance on Wall Street. I worked for a few years, and then I looked at underwriting mortgage-backed securities, and I got very interested in the revenue the professionals were making. So I got heavily interested into it. And after doing some research on mortgages, on mortgage servicing, on compensation and so on, I gave it a shot, and there was no looking back from that.
Almost a quarter century. That's a long time, my friend.
Yes. It was, I had a 5-year plan. It's kind of extended itself. Unplanned things that happened in the market at the time took me away from what I was doing.
See yourself doing anything else?
Well, I'm an author. I wrote 3 books. The last book is Paying Back Dad, Sale of Self Volume 3. That's that was picked up by Amazon, so now it's on Prime. So you can look that up. All the users can look that up. Yeah. Back up. Okay.
Yep, back up. Tell us about the author. Now you're back.
So yeah, I wrote a book on sales years ago, and then I wrote another book on sales because I didn't like the first one, and the second actually took off. It was self-published. I did it as a college group class at one of the local colleges, and so on. I got the book published, and then it just started. It's weird. It just started selling, especially on the West Coast. So we sold, I think it was 500. Yeah, when we sold 500,000 copies, I was asked to do a 3rd book.
Wow.
So I did. Yeah, it was just weird. It just took, after 2 years of doing absolutely nothing, it just started taking off. And then I found out later a company bought it to teach their salesmen, and then it kind of took off from there. So I did Paying Back Dad, which was volume 3 in the series, the last old book I just released about 1.5 years ago. And that book started, it's doing well right now. It'll never turn into a movie or be a bestseller. But, well, then again, you never know. But it's doing good. There are some sales, and it's more of a platform for my public speaking when I do some of my public speaking gigs, which this year has slowed down tremendously.
Well, of course.
Uh,
Let me ask you,
but-
what was it? Usually you don't go from mortgage, like mortgage people aren't, I mean, sales is one thing, but actually write books and to be a speaker, that seems like that's two different careers on top of being a mortgage expert or the mortgage expert. Did you do that because your books were doing so well?
Yeah, the books were doing well, and we were trying to get the best platform available to get it out in the masses. So what we did was, through the public speaking gigs and turning that into social media, basically clips and such, I created a bigger, it gave me more credibility, and I was able to grow every avenue of that I had at the time, because I was also a restaurateur. I had a couple of restaurants. But this is really, the book really propelled me social media wise, believe it or not, because it gave me the content I needed and the venue to release it, from book signings to everything. It's nice when you go to do a public speaking gig and you can give out one of your books and they line up for you to sign it and such. And then you try to recruit them as mortgage loan officers. It's a multifaceted approach.
How did you, so, your social media is really sort of where we're talking about tips and tricks. So I want to dive into that. You talked about how the book helped propel the social media, but you still have to know the basics of social media. You still have to know what you're doing and how to create the content. Was that just a live and learn and do what you could and figure out what worked, or how did you go about really building your social media up?
Well, it all MySpace. No, it started with Facebook, and with Facebook, what I did, a lot of negativity at the time. It was like, this is like 10 years ago. So every night I would come up with a positive quote, something that I'd use and make up myself, and I'd put a little spin on it. There was a time when people kept asking me where I got them from. It was just from my head or from conversations I've had in the past. I probably stole some quotes, not even realizing it, just because there's just so many words you could think of. But anyway, I saw that the positivity was really helping. And I would get, people would come up to me all the time. Oh, I love your quotes. I love your quotes. And, I was like, well, you didn't like them on Facebook, but you love them. I was understanding the mentality of people and what they want and how it was working. So I still do it to this day. I think it's like 10 years now. I put up a positive quote or two each day, in the morning and at night. I spend the first hour of my day on social media and what I'm going to do with it for that day. And I schedule it out for the week at this point.
But where did you come up with the content? So the quotes are one thing, but how did you create your plan? I think people are really trying to figure out the best way that they can utilize social media, even before the quarantine lockdown insanity. And now people are having time and they're realizing that maybe they didn't have the best content they thought they had before. They're having more time to look at other people's content. So what kind of advice can you give? We want to give them some tips and tricks. I mean, I know that I can learn from you because you have many more followers and likes and all of that stuff, which I'd love for you to tell me how important that is too, because people ask me that all the time. But kind of give them some idea, maybe a step-by-step. And I'm going to be taking notes when you do.
I try to take as many pictures as I can. I also, I have people around me, so I'll ask them, I make sure they have their video cameras on if I think there's going to be some content available. I never say no to a spot on a show or a radio show. I had a radio show too for a year. A few years, about 7 years ago, I did a radio show for a year. It was once a week. And by, letting them know where to follow me, where to find me on Facebook also helped, without a doubt. Speaking helped. The best advice that I can give to anyone is interacting. If I'm going to like somebody's, in people's minds, this is how they think. If I'm going to like your content, you should like my content.
Yes.
Right off the bat. That's, and me and you know all about that because we get 100 emails a day saying, make sure you, it starts to get a little blinding. But the most important thing is interacting with people in my book. Facebook, for instance, if somebody writes something on my Facebook quote, I'm going to write back to them. I like to interact with people. And, all things considered equal, at the end of the day, people want to do business with people they like, people they can assimilate to. That's why it's really important when, the work and I put out on Facebook yielded me the biggest returns. So there's no more of me looking at stuff and double thinking and triple thinking. I just put it up there. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, oh, well, my bad. Maybe you'll like the next one. Any content is better than no content. And I don't want to distract you too much, but I'll just tell you something that really was for me years ago. Somebody came to my office and they were like, Sal, what are you doing all over Facebook? Everybody's talking about you. I said, everybody's talking about me? I was like, that's great. And since then, that person, I won't mention names, has been doing videos and stuff that works and doesn't work all the time. But all I could say is you have to be out there.
Yeah.
I don't have to tell you this. That's with Facebook. Now, every venue has a different way to attack it.
Talk about that. What other platforms are you on?
Yeah. Instagram is probably where I originate the most business from these days. It used to be Facebook, but these days it's Instagram. How I built my Instagram up from 500 to it's either 50 or 60,000 I'm up to right now as far as followers go. Every morning I would wake up and I'd have that hour that it was my social media hour, I called it. I'd make sure that I contacted 10 people that I didn't already know in my arena or had something to do with my arena of mortgages, whether they be architects, builders, realtors, attorneys, whatever it is. And I probably direct message them. I DM them and I would just tell them what I did and told them I'd like to maybe do business with them or learn more about their business. Each time I would do it would be something different so that if there were any algorithms that Instagram is picking up on, they wouldn't pick up on mine. So message. And just following started coming. And then I got some followers who with the notoriety and a little blue check next to their name. And once they started following me and shouting me out, which I would ask them to do, I noticed that the followers would just come 10 an hour, 100 an hour. I started doing more and more of what was working. That's how I moved on to in the Instagram arena. Once the followers started coming up, I kind of slowed down on messaging people and tried to focus more on what I was putting out as far as the message goes. And then I would track it, each message as I did it. So I was just testing the waters cool. Basically, like an incubator type process I was going through with different types of content. So I found what was really working and what was really giving me mortgage business and turning into mortgage business.
Let me ask you about the Instagram part. What's your rule? Do you have a rule on followers versus following? Because there's this old school way of thinking that you want to have the least amount of people you are following on the page. But I find that people get offended and check it out. There's ways to check out, and so I don't know what's your perception on that? What should we be doing?
Well, I can't follow everybody who follows. I don't want that much action on my page. I want to keep it limited to the content that I want to see, the same way other people are keeping it to the content that they want to see. As far as I try to keep it between 10 and 20%. So I probably have 50,000 followers or a little bit over that. I follow around 5,000 and change. Just because I found that balance has been the best for my growth and has been the best for my viewership for the content I'm looking at, what's coming back for me. I would like to, obviously, but I'm kind of happy with the spot I'm in because of the business that it's transforming into for me.
And talk about the business part. So how does it turn into business for you? Are you getting loans from it? Are you getting referrals? Like, what are you, and how are they getting you? Are they just seeing your daily content, what you put out that is either mortgage related or, talk about what you do put out and then explain how they're getting to you, how you're converting that. Because I think that's what everybody wants. They want their social media that they put out there. They'd love to see it be converted to sales, or in our case, to loans.
Well, I was lucky enough a year ago. I met this gentleman, Steve Poznansky. He owns a company called IntelliCard. So what happens is I have card that's not paper. It's an electronic business card. And what happens is I link up all my accounts to that business card. So it acts as a funnel for me. So if you go to my electronic business card, which you can find that link anywhere, YouTube ads I have, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and you click it, it's a specific funnel, we'll call it, to whether it's, my Amazon influencer page, my Facebook page, my mortgage only page, my mortgage. It's like Inception, the movie. There's multiple levels to it. So they'll come in through Instagram. They'll click on the page. Now that e-card that I have tracks it, so I know it came from Instagram. And then we basically take the filters on now. So we'll know it came from a realtor. It came from a building, an open house from it. It came from a person looking to buy a house. The different set up for me. Everybody's going to have different types. But because of the book and the public speaking, I needed to have all of that separate. But everything I filter from LinkedIn and Facebook and everything, I filter kind of through the card. I have business pages, multiple business pages that drive business once again through. But it's that center that is really where everything comes through. So everything kind of funnels through that and then gets spit out through the backside to where I need it to go. And it gets prioritized.
Do you work it yourself? All of it?
I work it myself. I set up my business card specifically to work this way. And we get a lot of.
That's not the answer I wanted, but I had a. You're there. I can hear you.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I couldn't hear you for a second. I thought I lost you. I'm like, that's dead air. What did you say? What was the last thing you said?
I want to know, well, I asked you if you worked it because, in my mind, I need, 100 people to work it for me. And I think a lot of people want to know when you have that many platforms, how do you handle it? How do you manage all of it?
My son helps me. My son's also a loan officer with Freedom team. And I have 2 daughters. So if I do need help, I always have help available there. But I pretty much run it just because I just need to know how things work in order to do it. And the next thing that I'm rolling out is the live commercials during YouTube videos or Google ads and so on. It's all one company now. But we're working on that. We actually have a call tomorrow. I'm sure we're going to see you on there very soon. Let's put it that way.
YouTube is an interesting. So you're on YouTube. You have a YouTube channel. I tried to find it earlier, but what is a YouTube channel under?
I have a couple of YouTube channels. I have one of them just for mortgage videos. So if somebody asks me what an APR is or what closing, so on and so forth, I can actually just shoot them the video. So I have a whole video library dedicated just to mortgages. I have a video library just for Shout Out Friday videos that I've done throughout the years. That's a whole nother story there. We could talk about that as well. Where was I? So I have that. We have that. And so it's probably 3 channels. We have together, one for mortgages, one for Shout Out Friday videos, and one called Breakthrough that had all the and stuff like that gigs on it.
And how do you build YouTube up? I had somebody ask me that before we went live. How are you, because that seems to be the platform everybody's trying to figure out how to work, but that is a unique one to try to build up because the interaction is really, I think, what builds it up, but it's not the same as any other platform. You really have to dive pretty deep in there and follow and constantly interact with the people. So talk about how you were able to build it up.
Yeah, well, it's all about the tags, the meta tags and beta tags. Back then it was the algorithms, once again, with YouTube. They're changing a bunch of things on there. I don't know if the changes went into effect yet, but they were supposed to go into effect April. So I'm not sure. I will check that and I'll let you know about that as we go. But the best thing to do is to go back in time and do because it's seasoning. Everything gets seasoned. So Google, which owns Google and YouTube is one company, And they have crawlers and stuff like that that read these pages and pretty much prioritize what should be seen and shouldn't be seen. So what I did was I put my focus when I first started on the word broker, on the word banker, on the word Staten Island, Brooklyn, the tri-state. I put my emphasis on that, and I bought a count of how people would Google, so I would know what to use as my tags and what would show up first. So when I did it years ago, this has to be about 10 years ago, I did this, and we found out the tag really quick that we can get up on the rankings as far as Google went. And it worked out very well for us for a while until they changed a couple of things up as far as the tracking went. But I would say the tagging is the most important thing on YouTube. Don't just write something in your tagline or in your title line. Make it something that would be a search, because that is how specific they're going to find you. They're going to see you. And once the views start going up, they start going out of control because people are sharing it and so on. But I would say have a good social media base first, and then you can take that. Then you can take the YouTube and plug the YouTube in. YouTube should be where everybody ends up. You want them to end up there because they'll see your videos and they'll start scrolling down all your videos. But I think
That's what it feels
with the other platforms.
like. I feel like YouTube is where kind of the natural landing place is.
Yes. Yes.
I feel like YouTube is kind of like a natural landing place.
You came in a little broken up. All I got was landing place.
So talk. I don't know why everybody was good today. There we go. Talk about the market. Talk about mortgages and real estate. What are you seeing? Obviously you're in New York, but what are you seeing overall?
Well, the refinances haven't stopped. They're coming in hard and fast. But the market's not exactly where it used to be and how we used to explain it. I used to let my clients take a look at the 10-year note, have them look at Mortgage News Daily and the different sites that I would use, not to predict the markets, but just to keep current to see where rates and so on are at. Right now, there's a servicing problem. The government came in and said, yeah, you don't have to pay your mortgage for 3 months. Great, but didn't tell the banks first. So as you know, we're covered for FHA. So our FHA rates are great, and we're turning out FHA loans like crazy right now. But our Fannie and our Freddies priced a little bit higher, not than the market, but we would usually like. But with that being said, we're still the lowest in the market, which is great for us. We're starting to see a lot of sight unseen offers going. I must have did more pre-approvals this weekend than I've done in probably a month and a half, I would say.
Wow.
And believe it or not, a lot of them were sight unseen offers, which I think we're going to see, like I said, a lot of that. But I'm seeing the market pick back up over here in New York. The values aren't going lower, but they haven't gone higher. Aren't going much lower. I don't think they can than where they are right now. So I think everybody sees this as a really good, and I think it's a great opportunity. Even if the market did level this, that means rates would start going up. Well, every conjunction, rates go down, prices go up, rates go down, up, prices go down. So that's what we're seeing.
So tell me what you're doing. And I agree, we're seeing the same thing here. I feel like people need to pay attention to not pay attention to the news when it comes to all the doom and gloom, and really listen to your experts, your pros, your real estate pros, your mortgage pros, people that are in the field all the time. The doom and gloom stuff will really get you down. And then, of course, that makes people hesitate. On top of the furlough stuff, of course, people have lost their jobs, and there's that they're dealing with. The market itself, though, feels like it's still consistently good. It feels good. So tell us what you're doing. You're a positive human being, obviously. Tell us what you do to stay creative and stay positive, not on the business side, just what you, Sal, do.
Well, I just finished 1,000 with my daughters. It just said 3 years to finish. We finished in so puzzles, karaoke. Alexa's been very good to us. I hope she don't turn on. Alexa's been great. My Peloton is getting some mileage, and just trying to do stuff like this and watching the pros like the TED show, and just hearing what's going on out there and keeping myself entertained without the doom and gloom. You know, the news just makes everything a lot worse than it really is. Objects are larger than they should be.
Yeah, I feel like all of us are just trying to love the time that we get, family time. That's what everybody has been talking about. Like you talked about the jigs, the puzzles that you're doing with your daughters. I think people are just focusing on that, and it feels like people have taken that slowdown seriously. But it doesn't mean that you can't still do business if you're in a business like ours, especially. But you can definitely slow down. What do you think it's going to be like when we all open back up? Are we going to go straight to craziness, or are we going to bring some of this peace and calm with us from the quarantine?
Oh, we're going straight to craziness, Ted. You know that. Stop it. You knew the answer to that, but it was a good way to fill some fun. We're going straight to crazy. You got to remember, this commute that I don't have to make anymore, my commute's now not to South Avenue. It's from my bedroom to my living room. I'm going to lose this hour. I'm getting an extra hour every day. Plus, I haven't missed a meal. I used to miss a lot of them. I'm eating too good.
Me too, buddy. Me too.
I think we're going to go straight to crazy. I wish I could say something different.
It feels like people are saying, I think we are too. I mean, I think it's going to be a new crazy. People are still going to be trying to hold on to whatever they had while they were quarantined, but they still want to jump back in because of either fear or the market there's so much opportunity that they just want to capture it as quickly and as much of it as possible. So it's going to be an even different, crazier. I think we're going to be having a combination of all of that. And it'll be interesting to see how people balance. All right, any parting words of wisdom, since you're the man with words for us, Sal, before we head out?
The only thing I could say is everyone lives in their own reality. So make your reality. Let's put out positive energy. Let's all vibrate on a higher level. That's really what we need. All this garbage you're watching on the ratings, it's just for those people to pay their bills. Don't worry about them. They're okay. Worry about yourself. That's so right. I would really say just keep that optimism. Keep watching the TED show. I love what you're doing, Ted. You know that. I'm a big fan right here. And that's basically it. Live in your reality. Just make your reality the best one you can make it.
Thank you. Thank you.
And I appreciate it.
Well, thank you. Yeah. And then how do people reach you, Sal?
Oh, you can just put my name, Sal Criscuolo, in Google. That's it. Very simple.
Must be nice, man. You put my name in there. I'm afraid of what would come up.
I already put it. You're good. Don't worry about it.
Oh, good. No mug shots. Thank God. We're in good shape there. You're a joy, buddy. Thank you so much. Sorry about the connection. I don't know where it is. Everything was great this morning and all the way up till now. So if it's on my end, I apologize, but you're awesome. So Sal is an amazing guy. You want to reach out to him. You want to get to know him. He's an open book. Thanks for all you do for us. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Ted. Love you, brother. Stay safe. Brother. Please have me on again.
I will. We'll have you on again. Got to do a follow-up. All right, you guys have a good night. We'll be back tomorrow. Thanks, buddy. Love you.
Take care.